This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are going to learn today one more interesting topic, that is how to do the data modeling and how to access the data from different SQL databases with the help of import and direct query, and what are the when to use import, when to use direct query, and we'll see lot of other options as well as part of our agenda today. Am I clear? So what normally we do is that let me quickly go to Power BI desktop, and I wanted to get some data from SQL Server database. Let me open SQL Server as well, but let it open first. I'm opening Power BI desktop. So I wanted to close this window and click on transform data, and go to new sources. This time I wanted to use SQL Server to get the data. Click on this. Server name dot means what? It is a local SQL default instance. Database name. So let me go here. I have a couple of databases. One of the databases is called Amazon DW, means data warehousing database. I have import and I have a direct query. So if you have terabytes of data, data warehouse is going to be having terabytes of data, right? So definitely you have to use, import query cannot be used. Why import query cannot be used? So import is getting a large amount of data. Okay. So when you get large amount of data, so when we go back, see here, when we are getting a large amount of data, what is the issue? The issue is that you will not be able to, 1 minute, something is going on here. Yeah, when we have a large amount of data, for example, now I got only 100 GB of data from here. So I don't have any issue because it can be stored as part of this as a 10 GB, because Power Pivot database size itself is a 10 GB, right? So what we're doing, we are simply importing the data. So I go here, now I click on a connect. Okay, when I click on import, I'm able to get all this data. If you have less than 10 GB or 10 GB, I don't have any issue. But if it is a data warehousing where you have large amount of data, for example, I have 1 terabyte of data. I have 1 terabyte of data. So 1 terabyte means 100,000 GBs of data. When you have 1000 GB of data, can I store this 1000 GB of data here? Even though you compress, it will become 100 GB. Now 100 GB cannot be stored as part of your Power Pivot database. Clear? So we don't get 100 GB Excel files, 100 GB text files. Okay, we don't have the option, this option for import and direct query. We have only for the SQL databases, because where you have terabytes of data. What is data warehouse? Data warehouse is a large database, large read-only denormalized historical database is called a data warehousing database. So whenever you give the large amount of data, so Power Pivot model is going to be failing. Power Pivot cannot store. Why? Because the limitation of Power Pivot is 10 GB. Then what you do? You do the ETL operations and you bypass this, and you should be able to simply go to the Power View. You're not going to be storing anything. Clear? You're not going to be storing anything here. So that is what is my point. We have two things here, right? One is called, we are going to be doing data modeling, and the second one is enhancing data modeling. Clear? So these are the two options we have it. You get 1 terabyte of data. You may be doing ETL operations, but we cannot store anywhere the data. So what normally we do, you bypass this. You bypass this. You simply jump here, and you should be able to create a visualizations because you have so too much of data in this 1000 GB, 2000 GB, 2 terabytes, 5 terabytes. So if you need sometimes we can model the data. Modeling means only creating a primary key and foreign key that we can do without having data also. If you have a table names and column names, we will be able to create a primary key and foreign key relationships. You don't need the data, but you are not going to be storing the data. If you wanted to create a data modeling, that you can do it, but you are not going to be storing this much of a data. We create direct relationship, direct visualizations here. So that is what we are going to be understanding today. We are not going to import the data. We are going to use what is called as a direct query. Direct query means what? It is a live connection. Direct query means what? Live connection. So what is the meaning? The meaning is if you're using import, I have some data in the source level. For example, I have 1, 2, 3. When you import, all the data will come to Power Query. So all this data will go where? Will go to the Power Pivot. So where we are going to be also storing this 1, 2, 3 here. Then using 1, 2, 3, you create a lot of visualizations. This is Power View. We create a visualizations. Okay, we will get this data, we'll keep the data, we'll compress the data. So this is what is called direct query. Direct query is like this. But when I say, sorry, import is like this. Import is like this. I'm talking about direct query. Direct query means what you do, you get the data here 1, 2, 3, and you perform Power Query operations. If you want to perform, you don't store it here, you bypass. Okay, you bypass and you go to Power View. Clear? So you create a visualization, and this you give it to end user. This also give it to end user. If tomorrow 1, 2, 3, 4 comes here, 4 comes here, the complete data is not stored here. The live data you can see, live connection, live data. If you wanted to see, you can go in for this. This is a live data. But here you need to refresh. 1, 2, 3 is there. You have a 4 now. If you don't refresh, you don't get it 4. You don't get 4 here. You need to refresh. So importing is making a copy of this data and storing it. Tomorrow, if the data changes, the 5 also comes here. The 5 will not come until and unless you refresh the data. We have a refreshing options available here. If you don't refresh it, the Power View is going to be showing the visualization with the old data. So this is not the live data. So importing data is not a live data until and unless you click on refresh button. If you don't refresh for 10 days, then you will be able to see only the old data, but live data is not coming here. If you wanted to get the live data, you have to go to direct query. So direct query can be used in two cases. One is when you have a large amount of data. The second case, I wanted to see only the live data. I would like to see only the live connections, live query data. I don't want to make a copy of the data. I don't want to refresh every time. Clear? If that is the case, definitely live query is good. But definitely when storing the data, this is a 10 times faster. Remember that point. This is a 10 times faster here. So this is what is the point that you need to understand when you store the data. But even though it is a 10 times faster, but you cannot store 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes of data when you're having 2000 GB of data, that we cannot dump it here. So we are going to be linking only with the live query or direct query. So querying means wherever there is a querying options are available, in that we can get live query data. Can I get live query in Excel? Because Excel do not support query. CSV files cannot support query. Wherever the queries are enabled, wherever you can go and write your queries. So in that place, you will be able to use direct query. Clear? So not in Excels, not in CSV, not in XML, not in JS1 files. only in RDBMS, the import and direct query can be used. Direct query means what? Live connection. Remember that point. Clear? So today I'm going to be using this, and let me connect it to Amazon. So this is my Amazon database I'm going to be using. You assume that you have so much of a data. So what is the size of the data? If you wanted to know in SQL Server, you right click on this, you go to properties. Okay, now it is telling me size is 8.5 MB. Now it is very limited data I have it, but in the real time you can see the size of the database. Let me show you the Adventure Works. This database is given by Microsoft. Right click on it, go to properties. If you wanted to see the size of the database is 92 MB, right? What is the space available in this database is 14 MB. Clear? And you can understand the size. You will be able to have terabytes here. Right click on this, go to properties. Now you can see size of the database. It's very, very simple. So now you assume that you have 5 terabytes of data. I wanted to use direct query, not import. Import is the default option. I wanted to use direct query. It is not going to be bringing all the data. Click on OK. Now it will ask you what tables you wanted to bring. What tables you wanted to bring, right? So I need dim customer table, dim location table, dim product table, fact sales table. So this is the data I would like to bring. So this is the view. You can also get the data with the help of a view, stored procedure function. You can have anything here. Now click on OK. So this is my data. In Power Query, we will get first 1000 rows. Even though you have millions of data in your data source, in your data warehouse, it is going to be bringing only thousands of rows, only 1000, not much more. Okay. You go to any table, you will be able to get only 1000 rows. Now what we are going to be doing? We are going to apply some transformations here. Apply some transformations here, and we are going to load this data to where? Let me refresh this first. Even though you don't refresh it, nothing will happen, so don't worry. So I have refreshed it. I'm going to be closing and applying data. Do you think that it is going to be loading all the data? So I have used, what is the option I have used? I have used direct query. If I use a direct query, it is not going to get the data. Direct query means only table schema will be getting it, but not the importing means the table schema and the data. So I'm going to be using direct query here. So direct query means always, which is very, very, faster, because it is not going to be loading any data into the Power Pivot level. Loading wise faster, loading wise faster. Where data, because data will not get loaded, right? It will simply take the table schemas. Let me go here and close and apply. Okay, even though you have terabytes of data, now you see what is going to happen. It is only evaluating. Now you see you have 3 options here. You understand what is going to happen here. You keep on I. Okay, so you keep on I what is going on here. It is evaluating something. You have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so evaluating data, it is loading. Do you think that data will get loaded to Power Pivot? No, it is not going to prepare. It is going to be creating a connections. Creating a connections. That is the next step. Okay, okay. Connection means modeling. Then the middle button is gone. Have you seen it? You cannot see the data. Have you seen it? The middle button is gone. So when you click on here, you will be able to model the data. What is modeling? Modeling means only the column names are visible, no data. So you don't see the data anywhere. So if you want to visualize, you will have the column names only. You cannot see the data anywhere. Clear? So you have, if you want to model, you can model the data here, but there is no middle column, middle tab, so that you should be able to see the data, because data is not in the Power Pivot. The middle button is gone. Clear? So column names are visible. You can create a visualization, whatever the visualization that you needed. I need to get city wise or the product price wise or this wise, that wise. I need quantity sold, product name. I can get the product name, right? So it is bringing from the direct database. Now go to the quantity sold. Sorry. I go get it. So it is able to get complete data from where? From the database itself, live data. So tomorrow, if you wanted to modify, you should be able to modify the data in the, in your queries. So even though you don't refresh, so the live data is going to be shown. So you don't see any data. It is not going to be storing data anywhere. You can create a modeling. You can create a modeling and everything. So definitely you will not be able to see anything here. So that is what is very, very important and interesting one. So that is what we need to understand. Clear? Now I wanted to open one more Power BI desktop. So let me open one more window, open it. So I wanted to get some other data. Okay. Now I will be able to use same database, but this time I'm going to be using import. It's taking more time, right? So I'm opening one more window now. Let me close everything. Now this time go to transform data. Okay. Now I wanted to use new source, SQL Server. Server name is dot. And I wanted to write Amazon DW. I'm using import query this time. Okay. So now what happens? I need dim customer table, dim location table, dim product table, fact sales table. Now click on OK. First 1000 rows will get loaded here. Now later it is going to be getting all the data from the SQL server. It is going to be loading into the Power Pivot. Since I have less than 10 GB of data, I don't mind to store it in my Power Pivot. So now see the options. You see the options. Dim customer. You have three icons here. Evaluating. You see what it is doing. Then creating a relationships. Please wait. So evaluating. Let us see what's going to happen here. It is bringing all the data from the SQL server. I can store the data because I have less amount of data here. Now creating a connections. It is modeling and loading data also. This step was not there in earlier session. Loading data to model, this step is not there. So now rows count is also showing how much of data it is loading. So this step was not there in earlier time. So then if you wanted to create a model, you can create. If you wanted to see the data, you can see the data. So now you can go, you can see the data here, right? You can see the data here. So that's data you can visualize because data is available here, right? The data is available here. So you will not be able to get the data when you use importing query. This window will disappear. This window will disappear. You cannot see the data. So you will be able to visualize the data here and you can do the model. At the time of visualization, it is going to go to the database and bring the data. But now the Power Pivot model is having data itself. You have columns, you have data, you can do a lot of things. This will be missing. Clear? So this portion will be missing if you use the import query. And you cannot see any data there. You cannot see any data there because we are not able to store the data locally. So that is what is important point. Now, if you go to next window, you go to this window, the window itself is not available. Either you model it or you visualize it. So at the time of visualization, it is going to be bringing the data from where? It is going to bringing the data from the SQL database itself, live data. So that is what is the important point that you have to have it. Okay. So one more point we need to understand when we're getting the data, importing and direct query, assume referential integrity options. We have at the time of creating a relationships. Okay, these are relationships window. We have assume referential integrity. This is also we need to speak about it. Clear? So when you use import table schema plus data will be loaded. When you use a direct query, only the table schema. Schema means what? Column names. Table name, column names, primary key, foreign key relationships will be loaded, not the data. So that is what you got to understand. Clear, guys? When to use direct query means when we have large amount of data, when we wanted to get live data, it is only for databases, but not for Excel or CSV files, because wherever there is a query, so direct query can be enabled only there. Query means only in the RDBMS. Okay. So let us understand assume referential integrity option also. This is also very, very important. Let me go back and show you one option. Okay. I wanted to go to my Power BI. This is where I can see the data. If I wanted to model this, how can we model the data? Click on this button. Now click on manage relationships. So you can create a primary key and foreign key relationships, right? So this is the primary key foreign key relationships. If you wanted to see the relationship, click on edit. Now there is assume referential integrity is unchecked. Have you seen this? So this is not checked. Assume referential integrity is unchecked. Clear? So I go back, I close this. Now I can see the data. I can see the data here, right? So this is what is importing. But I use one more Power BI where we cannot see the data, but we can model the data. Let me go to manage relationships. Now I take this and click on edit. If you see carefully, this is now enabled. This is now enabled. You can say assume referential integrity will work only in the importing query. So not only in the direct query, not in the importing query. So what do you mean by assume referential integrity? When we uh, link sales table with the dim customer table. So any table, any primary key, foreign key, when you create, for example, I take a table here. For example, let me talk about a table 1 and you have a table 2. Like this, we have a lot of tables. So this is a primary key table. I create a foreign key here. Whenever you create a primary key and foreign key, for example, I have a 10 and a 20 and a 30. Okay. So this is a primary key table. In the foreign key table, what we'll have, for example, employee number 1, name is A, is working for department number 10. and this is a foreign key, and this is a department table, and let us say this is employee table. So employee 10, sales, employee number 20, not employee, department number 20, sales, marketing, and auditing department. So number B is working like this. Clear? So is working, and number 3 is working. Number 4D is working for 40. Do we have a 40 here? We never get a 40 here because 40 department does not exist, but still you can have a data. This is a primary key table. This is a foreign key table. When we link foreign key table and the primary key table, so whenever we link, always Power BI is going to be bringing left outer join data. What is the meaning? Left outer join means, so whatever be the foreign cable that it is going to be using, so all data from the table 10, 20, 30, and 40 also, which is going to be bringing. So matching data 10 and 20, 10 and 10 matching, 20 and 20 matching, this and this is matching, this and this is matching, this is matching, and it is not going to bring, it is not going to get this data. So Power BI is going to be always using left outer join. Clear? And bringing more data. So if you have, let us say, if you have 10 seconds time to bring this data, it is matching data. It may take another 2 seconds to bring this data. So left outer join is always faster. Sorry, always slow. Left outer join is always slow because which is going to be bringing this data as well as this data. Which data? Matching data, unmatched data. When we say assume referential integrity, what is the meaning? Referential integrity means no unmatched data, because 40 is available here. 40 is not available in the primary key table. If the 40 is not available, by referring foreign key, if this 40 is not available, this row will not be there. This row will not be there. When we say referential integrity means non-existing data should not be available in the foreign key table, because 10 you have, 10 can be there, 20 you have, 20 can be there, 30 you have, 30 can be there. You have one more employee number D, he says he's working for employee number 40, but do we have 40? We don't have 40, but still this employee is non-matching data. When we say referential integrity, what do you mean by referential integrity? When we say referential integrity, this is a foreign key table. Any value, if the corresponding value is not there in this table, SQL Server is going to delete this record. When it is going to delete this record, what is the purpose of using left outer join? Because left outer join is going to be used to get the unmatched data. Referential integrity itself is, will not allow, then there is no point to use left outer join. Left outer join is slow. Why it is slow? It will get matching data, plus it will go again trying to get the unmatched data. Anyhow, we don't have unmatched data. When we say assume referential integrity, when you check that, so left outer join automatically will become inner join by default. Okay, left outer join automatically will become inner join. So that is what is the point. Clear? So when we make it, inner join, because inner join will give you matching data, because you don't have unmatched data, because we have implemented assume referential integrity. Referential integrity means non-existing data should not be there. So why we're going to, when are we going to use left or right? To get the unmatched data. If you don't have unmatched data, why to implement this? So that is the point. So we are going to be using inner join, which is very, very faster. Clear? So many to many. So this is the thing that we're going to be using. Now I say assume referential integrity. When I'm saying assume referential integrity, so which is going to be using inner join. That is what you need to understand. Clear? So this is available only to the direct query not to the import. Not to the import, because importing means we are going to be loading data into the Power Pivot. Power Pivot cannot check whether you have corresponding values in the opposite table or not. So that cannot be implemented at the Power Pivot level. Since we are using direct query, all the data is available in your database itself. Database can check easily non-existing data. So if you have a non-existing data, database cannot take that unmatched data into the the other table. So when we say assume differential integrity, no need of using left outer join. So left outer join is the join default the Power BI is going to be using. When we use assume referential integrity, Power BI is going to be using inner join instead of a left outer join. So that is what is the point. Clear? So many times people may ask you why referential integrity is available only with the direct query, not with the import query. That is one. The second one is that. So what will happen when you use assume referential integrity? So by default, Power BI uses left outer join. So when we use assume referential integrity option, then Power BI uses inner join. Inner join is faster than the outer join. Why? Inner join only brings matching data. Outer join brings matching data. Plus, it has to go in for unmatched data. So it may take extra 2 seconds, 5 seconds, right? So check this option only if the matched data exists. If you have unmatched data here and there, then it is not going to work. If both places, if you have 10, 20, 30 here, in the opposite table, you should have 10, 20, 30. You cannot have 40 there and you create a assume referential integrity. It is not going to work. In both tables, we should have matched data only. Then only this is going to work. It's very, very important point that you should know. Clear, guys? So that is all about when to use direct query when we have a large amount of data. When we wanted to get live data in those two places, you have to go in for direct query. Direct query only applicable for databases, not for files. Wherever there is a querying concept is there, topic is there, in that only we can use direct query. It is not going to bring your data. It is going to bring only the table schema, table names, table columns, so that we can create a modeling. Because to create a model, you don't need data. Clear? So import means a table schema plus data, everything is available there. Am I clear? So these are the important interview questions, so that you may be getting from the Power BI interview. Okay. Now, one more thing we need to understand. One to one already we discussed. One to many we discussed. We need to understand many to many, because we have to complete this part. Okay. Let me go back. So when we go to relationships, so it is one to many, it is one to many, it is one to many, it is fine, it is working fine. One to one we knew, one to many we knew, but when we have many to many, let me give you one example for many to many. Already we discussed this topic, but we need to discuss once more. I'm talking about many to many. So I was giving an example, right? What is that? You have a hospital table, and okay, we have a hospital table, hospital number, name of the hospital, and the location in which the hospital is available. So hospital number 10, let us say Apollo Hospital, and location, let us say Jubilee Hills, some address. And hospital number 20, Care Hospital in Hyderabad, and 30 we have Rainbow Hospital, maybe in some Sekbad. So I have some location where these hospitals are available. Now I wanted to create one doctor's table. One hospital can have many doctors. One doctor can work for many hospital. Many to many relationship. Doctor number doctor name, doctor salary, doctor date of joining, lot of other things are available. These are the columns. Now, doctor number one. So I will take one of your names. Okay. So, for example, we have Balaji here. Balaji, you please give your full name whenever you join the next time, okay, including surname. So, Dr. Balaji is going to be a doctor. Now, Balaji doctor is working for $10,000 per month and is working for Apollo Hospital in the morning, and in the evening he is available in Rainbow Hospital. So per month is getting Apollo 10,000 and in Rainbow he is getting a 25,000. Total salary is 35,000. So what salary I should be able to put it here? You have to write a 10,000 plus 25, total 35,000 you need to write. So since it is salary, you should be able to, sum it up. But what of date of joining? So in Apollo, he joined, let us say, Jan 12th, 2017. In this hospital in Rainbow, he joined, let us say, October 22, 2019. So how do you sum these values and keep it here? Right? So when we have many to many relationship, lot of times we are not going to be doing the simple modeling. Salary, you will get many salaries, many data of joinings, and many things will be there. So what you need to do, you need to create a bridge table. That's what I told you also. So salary and the data of joining, you have to bring it here, and you need to create a bridge table. Take hospital number. So this is going to come, and a doctor number is going to come. Clear? Hospital number is a foreign key here. Doctor number is a foreign key here. So this is what is the table that you have to create to remove the referential integrity. So we have one more doctor. Let me take one of your names. So we have Suresh Kumar, Charan Raju. All these are doctors. Okay. We have Suresh Kumar and we have Charan, right? We have Anu, like we have a lot of doctors are available, and this is the primary key, and this is the primary key. Now, Apollo number 10, who's working? Apollo Balaji is working, so salary is 10,000, and January 12th, 2017 he joined. Now, same Apollo 10, even Suresh is also working. Suresh is working Apollo, so he is getting $12,000 per month. He joined in some different date, February 10th, 2018. He joined. Clear? Now, Care Hospital or Rainbow Hospital, number 3, Rainbow. Now, Balaji is again working. So, Balaji is working here and is getting $25,000 per month. He joined in the month of October 15th and 2019. Clear? So we have some data. So how we are going to be addressing in SQL Server? SQL Server, so this is, many to many, because one hospital can have many doctors. So when you see the relationship, one hospital can have many doctors, one doctor can work for many hospitals. It is purely many to many relationship. When we have many to many relationship, you are not allowed, or you cannot have all the information in two tables. We have to create a table number 1, table number 2, and we are going to be creating one more table called bridge table. Clear? So M is to M, this will be many to many. So how many to many will work? So many to many is going to be working. So here 10, 20, 30 it is 1. Wherever you have duplicate, it is 1. And 10 and 10 is many. So we are going to be implementing one to many. So from this to this, we are going to be implementing one to many. And here 1 and 1 means duplicates. 2 and 2 means Suresh also may work for. So you have many, and it is 1, 2, 3. So it is only one time 1, 2 times 2, one time 2, one time 3, one time 4. It is many to 1. Clear? So M is to M is taken as one to many to 1, So this is how we're going to be implementing in SQL Server. Clear? So when you have a duplicate, it is many. When you have only one time, it is one is only one time, two is only one time, it is one. So what we do, we create always, M is to M can be implemented in RDBMS one to many, many to one by creating a bridging table. Without a bridge table, you cannot do anything in your SQL Server or Oracle, because SQL Server Oracle is a two-dimensional data, rows and columns data. You cannot have many to many columns data. So in your RDBMS, so storing wise, you must create a bridging table. Clear? If you don't have any bridge table, so definitely it is not going to work. So people would ask you, how do you implement many to many relationships in your SQL Server? So you need to say many to many directly will not be implemented, because when you implement, you will be able to get 10,000 and 25,000. All the data has to go in the single column. So that is where the issue starts. You need to create a bridging table, and you can easily understand it. 10, who's 10? Apollo, who's working 1? Balaji, Balaji's salary like this. Okay, 1 is working for 30, 30 is Rainbow salary is 25,000. Clear? So RDBMS has to use one to many, many to one to implement many to many. But so Power BI, Power BI is going to have, you can use a bridging table, and you create a, relationships, M to M relationships like this, or without a bridging table also, Power BI can implement many to many. That is the beauty about the Power BI. So many to many is implemented in 2020, I think, or 2019. Before that, even Power BI used to have one to many, many to one to implement many to many relationship. Clear? Now, let me go and show you some of the options. Let me go to manage relationship. You take any one relationship, you can take anything, click on edit. Now you see it is going to give you many to one, one to many, one to many, many to many also. In RDBMS, you don't have many to many direct. One to many to one can be implemented like this. But in Power BI, you can implement two tables. We can implement two tables without having a bridging table. So that is the beauty. So how do you implement with a bridge table? How do you implement without a bridge table? So these two things we need to understand. Clear? So not here, not here. I wanted to get some data, and I wanted to implement so many to many without a bridge table and with a bridge table. Are you clear? So let me go here. I have some car sales table, right? Car sales and purchases. If you see the data in this, I have multiple entries, Ford and Ford, Ford and Ford, Kia and Kia, Benz and Benz, multiple, it is M. So what is the purchase amount and which year? So this is a car purchases. So they're purchasing and they're selling the cars. Go to here. When you go, again you have a Ford and a Ford. It is many. Kia, Kia, Benz, Benz, BMW, Benz. So you have many, and you have also many, because multiple entries. Clear? When you have multiple entries, it is a many to many relationship. And they're buying some cars and selling some cars. After buying, they're selling. It is many to many data. Clear? So whether it is many to many, one to many, you can easily understand like this by going to this. So it is only one time. 10 is only one time. 10 is multiple times. It is one to many. It is one time. It is one is multiple times. So it is one to many. Clear? So like that. If you have again 10 and 10, it is many to many. It is 10 and 10 is here. 10 and 10 is here. Many to many, because we have duplicate data. So that is how you can understand. Now, this is the data I wanted to use it. Which data? Car sales and purchases data. I will be able to use with bridge and without bridge. So both of them we have to discuss without fail. Okay. So many to many is added only in the last year in Power BI, but earlier people were using bridging concept. Let me close this. Now go to where I am. So transform data. Go to new sources. Excel. I wanted to use this car sales and purchases. This file is already given to you. I take this, okay. I add this. Now this is the purchases where the Ford cars we bought it for $1,800 or $1,000,000, and what is the sales happened for the car? So 2,000. So the same year $2,000 million we got it. So I wanted to do it is a many to many relationship, right? So same car multiple times available in both places. I wanted to implement many to many relationship. You go there and load the data. Without having a bridge table, will create a relationship and get the data. Now these are my tables. They are not having any relationship. Clear? We need to create a many to many. So this is my data. So core data, and we have a core sales data. No relationships are available here. Now I wanted to go and get some sales. I wanted to take this and go to here. I wanted to have a model wise and purchase amount. Clear? So I wanted to have what? Model wise purchase amount. Let me drag and drop model. So, okay, so this is the one I have it. Now let me go to x-axis and increase the font to 15. And I wanted to create data label and increase the font. Display units none and increase the font. Come down. So font to let us say 15. Okay. Now I wanted to create a border. Now click on this. You go and create a border. Now done. Now let me take one more window. So you take this time core, this model. I would like to drag and drop it and simply click on this. I'm able to get a click on this and format painter and click on this. Go here, format painter and apply. Okay. Why is not working? Let me go format painter and click on this. So I'm able to get everything, but units are not properly changing. Let me go to this. The units I would like to change, go to data label, and I will say auto. We can have auto. We will be able to get this data. Now the management is asking, this is the sales and this is the sales amount, this is the purchase amount. We are purchasing for 2000 and selling for 2600, and we are purchasing for 2750 and 3200. Like that we have some data. Clear? So I wanted to create only one visualization. So if you need purchase amount, sales amount to be available in a single visualization, means you need to create a relationship, right? So I told you, if you wanted to create a single visualization, but data getting from multiple, places. So that is when you need to have a link. So let me go and double click on this. What I do, I'm going to be taking the car model and I wanted to have the purchase amount. I wanted to have the sales amount as well here. Since I do not have proper relationships, so this is not showing properly. So I format the paint. So I'm able to get this data. Now something is missing here. So x-axis data label, I wanted to have it. So data label is auto, display units is none. So everywhere it is showing, same thing. What is not properly done? Sales amount is not properly done. Clear? So, but the purchase amount properly showing 5850 blah blah blah. Sales amount is completely wrong. So this time I will take one more visualization. Now here I wanted to take this model, this sales amount, and this purchase amount. I wanted to have it. So this time what is going on? Sales amount is properly happening, but purchase amount is not properly happening. Let me adjust these things. Yeah. Okay. Now this is properly showing. What is it properly showing? It is showing the blue means sales amount, and this amount is not showing properly because you don't have a relationship. Clear? Now I wanted to create a relationship between these two. Either you can drag and drop model to model, or you can click on manage relationship. Anything is fine. Let me go click on new. I take any car. So this one, so model to model. So this is what is this one. So it is telling me many to many. It is identify because multiple entries you have, and it is telling me many to many. Now here you see we have a single car sales filter car purchases and car purchase filter car sales. We have a cross filter direction. Both sides I'm not going to be taking. I'm going to be taking what? A car sales filter car purchases only single direction. Let me click on OK. Click on OK. If you observe carefully, the direction is this side. It is going to be taking this data and filtering car purchases. Let me go and see what is properly coming. So this one is properly coming, but this is not coming properly because it is everywhere. It is showing because it is individual visualization. There is no problem because when we create a model, we need to have the uh, visualizations everywhere. It has to work perfectly, but it's not showing perfectly because it is single direction. So double click on this. Now you see this one also arrow mark. Double click on this. I wanted to change this to this direction. Now the direction will change to this. Now see the opposite. The next one is going to work. So this is going to work. It is not going to work. Okay. So both sides I would like to go and get the data. So come here and double click on this, and you can use both directions. When you say both directions, it is going to be showing you all the data correctly. Here 5850. So here the data modeling, so data label, display units is none. Clear? You can see 5850 for purchase amount, sales amount is this one. Clear? Without having this data, we should be able to get, without having this data, without creating a bridge table, we are going to get the same visualization like this. And this is what is the beauty about many to many relationship and cross filter direction also. This is also people would ask. In both means both sides, it's going to be filtering and getting the data. Clear? So the security concept we have that we'll implement later. So make this relationship active. This is also we'll discuss later. Very, very important point. Okay, assume referential integrity we discussed. So this also we'll discuss with some simple concept, but this one we're going to be discussing probably next week. Very, very important. What do you mean by make this relationship active? When it is inactive, when it is active, what is the role-playing dimension? All these things we need to understand one by one in the coming classes. Very, very important interview questions. Okay. So this is what is very, very important. Without a bridge table, how can you implement this one? Now, if you wanted to use a bridge table, how we can have it? That is also, we should be able to do it, right? So if you give me 10 more minutes, I can remove these links and I can create without a bridge table. How we can implement, we had discussed. Now with the bridge table, how we can implement? Let me go back to transform data. Okay, so without a bridge table, with the bridge table we are discussing, right? So we need to create one bridge table as well. So let me go here. I am in the Power Query. Okay, so if you wanted to sell, you must purchase, right? So if I wanted to sell a car, I must purchase a car. I need to create a bridge table. Bridge table means how? So it is having many to many relationships, right? So it is having many to many relationships. If I create a relationship, already we have many, because many means I have duplicate data here. So we need to create one bridge table where you can have one. One means these entries, I need only ones. So it will become one too many and one too many. So I'll create like this. One bridge table I will create where I should be able to get only unique values, because many times it is this side we have many, right? So I need to implement one too many, one too many. So it will become, so many to many is implemented, one too many, and many to one. So you go like this and you come like this. So one to many to one. So I wanted to create one bridge table. In this, you have to have unique values, because already duplicates are here. You need to maintain unique values. So which table you're going to be taking? So tomorrow if the data changes, you need to get those data into the bridge table, right? So definitely which table you're going to be taking, this table or this table. So this table you should not have it. Why? Because you need to, if you don't purchase, you cannot sell the product, right? So we are going to be using a purchase table. So I have to create a duplicate. If I create a duplicate, what is the problem? The problem is, if I have four cars, the four cars will get copied. Tomorrow, if you have one more car here, the new car data will not come to bridge table. So if you create a duplicate, all the data will get copied now. So afterwards, if you add any new car, the new data is not going to come to the bridge table. So you should not create a duplicate. You need to say reference. We have to create a bridge table, a reference table, because it's going to be creating a linking. So what I need only the unique values, remove other columns, right? Go here. I wanted to remove duplicates. Okay, this is my data, and this data is bridge table. Okay, bridge cars table. I wanted to create this table. Now you can have models. What is the, this is the model of the car. So I have a model here, I have a model here. This is my bridge table. How did I create a bridge table? Which table I have used? Not the sales table. Why? Because sales table may be having some data or may not be having these cars later, because until and unless you don't purchase, you are not going to be selling, right? So all the data you need to take it from here. You are going to be taking a reference here. Clear? Now you close and apply. You close and apply. You are going to be creating a relationship here. Okay. So we are going to be having a bridge table in between. So this is how it is going to be automatically created a relationships. Clear? Now you go, that is one to many and one to many. It is created. You back, you get the visualizations, whatever you need it. Okay. Now you take this chart. Now you get the data. What is that you need to have? So I need to have the model and I need to have the purchase and I wanted to get the sales amount. Clear? So it is able to show you only, one thing correctly, one more thing it is not showing you properly. Okay. So that is also we'll discuss. Now let me go back and do the some changes here. I have one too many. I have one too many. We have relationships. So single, we have a single relationships. Let me make it to both here. Let me make it to both here. Okay. Let me go back. I'm able to get one relationship here. Now let me go and drag and drop one more. Double click on this. Let me drag and drop one more here. This time I take this model, I take this sales amount. I wanted to go to purchase amount as well here. So this time this is also working perfectly fine. So first one is, okay. So if you see carefully, you will be able to understand the without a bridge table, with bridge table, both of them are working fine. Clear? You need to give both direction values because one to many, many to one. So if you give a single direction, it is not going to work. Clear? You have to go and format the painter and again go back and change all of them. Increase the x-axis font to 15. Now you go to data label, switch it on. Now you go and increase to none and come down and size to, let us say, 15, so that you will be able to understand this neatly. And you go there and format a painter. You should be able to get all the values, but only thing, data label need to be none. Clear? Everything is properly coming, but if you go and double click on this, now change it to single. Okay, and you go there and check the data. So now this is not properly coming. Have you seen this? So both sides you need to make it two directional because in many to many, so that you will be able to get the data correctly in your many to many relationship with the bridge table. Clear? 5850 5850 6400 6400. So it is very, very important that with a bridge table we can create. Without a bridge table also we should be able to create your, the hierarchies. When we have many to many relationship, so when we have the data, you may create a bridge table, or without a bridge table also we can do the things, and pretty much easy. You practice them, so people would ask you all these questions. So how do you implement ms to m in your power BI without a bridge table, with a bridge table? If it is a bridge table, how do you implement? And sometimes we will get the data from SQL itself directly like this. When you're getting the data like this, so there is no need of you creating a bridge table. So already the data will be retrieved directly like this, so you need not create. But in this example I have some different data, so I had shown you how to create a bridge table. Otherwise you don't know how to create a bridge table, because if they give the car sales and car purchases data, you should know how to create a bridge table as well. When they give the data like this, you don't know how to create a bridge table always. Okay, so you understand, you work with this and you work with that kind of a data also, so that you should be able to understand clearly. Clear? If you're getting the data from RDBMS, means compulsorily you have a bridge table, right? Without that, RDBMS cannot store the data. But if you're getting the data from Excel, means they'll give you two Excel sheets and they'll say It is a many to many. Now you work on your own. So that is when you should know how to create a bridge table, or that is when you should know how to implement many to many without bridge tables. Clear, guys? So this is what is very, very important. Yeah, you can use anything. So you need to adjust the data first many to many without having a bridge table, so that you should be able to create this data and use it for your purpose. Okay, guys. So this is what is introduction to Power Pivot. So one to one, you know, one to many now, you know, many to many with bridge, without bridge, you know, and the fourth one you discussed about import and direct query also, you know. Okay, from tomorrow we'll start with DAX queries introduction. Clear? So we had learned this part today. We had learned this part today. Now from tomorrow we're going to be discussing this portion. So this is what is called enhancing data modeling. So this is where we are implementing DAX queries, data analytical expression queries, that will start from tomorrow. So what are the things that we can do, that we'll see from tomorrow's class.